Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. I'm a public adjuster, a regular insurance adjuster, a roofing contractor, roof inspector, appraiser, and all the above when it comes to damage and insurance property claims. Our show is designed to help the consumer, adjuster, roofer, insurance industry professional, and primarily the consumer navigate their claims. Colorado has a lot of claims that come up, such as hail and a little bit of flood. Our biggest one on property is hail, and we're going to start the show off by talking about that. On today's show, we're going to talk about the upcoming hail season. We're going to tell consumers how to prepare and what to do when you have a claim or you get struck by hail or high winds. We just had some high winds in Colorado Springs, a little bit in Denver down the Front Range. Things that you can do. We'll talk a little bit about hidden damages that adjusters and contractors miss and how to properly document a claim. We're live today with the great Mike Neely. He's previous owner of Pro Roof Solutions. He's actually coming over to my company, rooftop-roofing.com.
Thank you.
We have Ed Levy, formerly known as Ed Neely, just joking.
It's Mike Neely. That's
yeah. He owns Atlas Law, and he is a professional insurance claims attorney. We have the great Stevie Solomon. Stevie is a shingle rep manufacturer, former shingle rep manufacturer with a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the product installation, that type of thing.
I'm the least of these around here. Come on. You guys are rock stars, man.
We're going to get right into it. So let's start with what to do when you have an insurance claim. Anybody want to jump on that?
I'd say even start before that. Now's the time to review your policy and talk with your insurance agent in advance of any storms that are coming.
Okay, so review your policy. Let's talk. What should you look at in your policy, guys?
Well, I almost bought a house last year and looked at the policy, and there was no coverage for hail in Colorado. In Colorado, no coverage for hail. So that was pretty amazing. And they also had a 2% for the overall
RCV.
yeah, exactly. And so I was like, listen, man, I need something straightforward. Need a straight $2,000, $1,000 deductible, and make sure you put that hail on there. Right?
It's important.
Yeah.
What's your primary chance of a loss in Colorado? Is it fire? No, it's hail by a long shot, okay?
The most in the country.
Right. So you're selling your policy. I don't know how much credit you're getting, maybe 10 to 30% less, but what do you got coverage for? The number one thing where you might have on a residential house anywhere from a $20,000 to $300,000 claim on the average residential. That's big. And then Stevie said that he does get coverage for the other things, and they've got a 2% deductible. So everybody out there, so you don't know what a 2% deductible is, it's based on
The value of your home.
the value of your home. So if you have $1 million home, 2%, do the quick math, is $20,000.
Boom.
So if a hailstorm comes through and you have a $40,000 claim, only half of it's going to be covered because that 2% deductible kicks in. It's really, really a big deal.
You know, we see a lot of them, 1, 3, 5, 7% deductibles, you know, if you were in Texas or Kansas or different places. And it's coming into Colorado to where we need to be very, very savvy of what those deductibles are. I mean, I had a situation in Boulder where we were doing a condo, and the guy had a 3% deductible, and so his roof was $9,000, but his deductible was $12,000. Didn't make any sense, right?
So what coverage do you really have? So be careful of those little hidden discounts. And the discounts to watch out for. My name's Phil. I'm your host, and I'm a professional adjuster and a public adjuster as well as a contractor. And I've been doing this 33 years. And what do you want to watch out for? Ordinance and law. You want to make sure you have a good ordinance and law coverage. That's coverage that's going to pay for the increased cost of instruction when you get hit or suffer damages where they say you got to bring it up to code. Let's talk about a fire. You got increased cost of coverage. You got to put in a huge sprinkler system on your commercial building. You want to make sure you have ordinance and law. And we are going to come back in a second on Insurance Claims Radio and talk about more coverages, ordinance and law, deductibles, all that. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach me at rooftop-roofing.com, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith? possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. We're talking about coverages in your policy, what you can do, the consumers can do before the new storm season comes for hail. And we're just talking about, our last thing was ordinance and law, how important that is to have. Where ordinance law could kick in with a hailstorm would be if you suffer some kind of major loss. We'll talk about hail and wind. Maybe you have a roof that has boards or planks, and when there's a certain space between the planks, or they're wide or they're uneven, you have to have a solid decking as the building code. So most shingle manufacturers don't want you going over planks unless they're really tight or tongue and groove. So therefore, if you have ordinance law, you'll have coverage for that increased cost of construction. Otherwise, you're paying out of pocket. You have no coverage for it. Other issues are when you have to bring windows up to code. Say we'll talk about Florida quick. It's impact windows now. It's really a big deal in Florida because you could have the old windows, but now you got to put in high-grade impact windows. It's a lot of money out of pocket. There are issues too with windows in Colorado when you have to have better clasp systems and a better window installed that meets all the UL and ASTM standards.
So, Phil, what does that mean? Like, you see everything's based out of Florida, right? They have the Dade County, and and that kind of goes nationwide.
Well, it doesn't. Dade County has a really high standard because they have high winds. It has to be rated. I'd have to pull up the new wind chart. So it's somewhere around 150 plus miles an hour for so many seconds. So Dade County has a much higher standard than the rest of the country. You know, depending where you are down the front range, some of the standards range from 90 miles an hour that shingles need to be rated up to 105 or 115. As you get closer to the mountains, it goes up a little bit, the wind gradient, because it can get sandwiched in there and the winds can be faster. So they have these wind charts in the building code, and they're always changing a little bit. And your ordinance and law coverage are going to cover you. So let's just say that you had a 3-tab shingle on your roof and you are west of I-95. Well, most 3-tab shingles do not meet the new wind code uplift ratings west of I-95, right? So you might have to carry a 50-year or heavier shingle, but the insurance company only owes you for what's there. But if you have ordinance and law, otherwise known as code upgrade, you're going to have a percentage of coverage or a dollar amount in there, and that's going to cover that increased cost of construction, known as code upgrade or ordinance and law. On a policy, it's usually defined as ordinance and law.
So let's say we have a 3-tab shingle, right? It has a 20 or a 25-year rating. Now we have some of these insurance companies saying, hey, we can go have these made in Minnesota, and we can repair these and fix you up that way.
Well, they have that option, don't they?
Yeah, they do. You know, a lot of customers don't. Hey, I don't want a different color shingle on my roof, and the insurance companies can legally do that.
Yes, in Colorado, I mean, there is a law of indemnification. I don't want to get sidetracked on the show. That's great for another show. If they can reasonably match it pretty close, you're pretty tough in Colorado to fight them. If your roof's going to look like a checkered board, there's great arguments. Now, there are other states like Montana has a matching statute, and Minnesota has been tested and tried. Hasn't gone so far. That's something the legislature, the politicians could take up and do a bill to try to pass something like that. Obviously, the insurance companies would probably not want that. It costs them more money, so one side of your siding gets damaged. If you have a matching clause that's in effect in a state or that's a statute, it would force you to wrap the whole house. But if you don't have that, you just fix what's damaged to the best you can, generally. And it gets a little bit more complex from there.
There's a guy here locally that's throwing some granules on a roof to fix it in Denver. So what are your thoughts on that, Phil?
I have actually seen that last year. They're spot repairing hail. My thoughts are, do you really think that's a tested method of repairing your shingle roof? And how long are those granulars going to last with UVA, UVB rays? because you're basically gluing back in the granular. Sounds okay, right? But probably I wouldn't. I know there's a guy doing it. I wouldn't. I would say the insurance company's probably all over it. It's probably going to buy you some time.
Yeah.
It's not going to last for 15, 20 years. Sure, I'll probably get a letter from them now saying, oh, we've tested this in simulated testing. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, send me the letter. I look forward to it. But that ain't going to last unless your roof's really, really old. That's not going to last till the end of your roof life expectancy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the manufacturing process. I mean, there's a very specific way to manufacture shingles to make sure it meets the testing, right? I mean, so just like
Well,
you
the
mentioned,
aggregate's embedded and pressed in the hot asphalt.
yeah.
So even if you're up there with a torch, you're running around trying to repress it in, you're doing more damage to the shingle by overheating it. There's all kinds of issues. As a short-term repair, like if your roof was shot and somebody came and you're changing your roof in a year or two, okay, it's probably not a big deal. But your insurance company owes to make you whole. And if you have replacement cost insurance, that's your chance to get the insurance to pay for a full roof because you bought that insurance. If you have an ACV policy, which means actual cash value, that roof, if it's estimated to last 25 years, it's 23 years old, you're going to get 25, you're going to get 2 times 4, you're going to have 8% of the value of that roof. Take the money, run, you're going to pay out of pocket for the rest of the roof. But if you have replacement cost insurance, you're going to get that whole roof replaced. And that's what you paid for, so that's what you should claim.
Well, and what are you paying in your insurance policy? As you mentioned before, if you're paying for Cadillac or gold-plated prices, do you really want a lesser roof? If your deductible is the same, don't you want the best quality roof that you're going to end up having that the insurance company agrees that they owe?
Absolutely.
Usually you have a functional use policy there, and in saying that, you want same like same kind, but it differs from policy to policy and insurance company. They're different on.
Look at your policy too. Is there actual clause in your policy that says discontinued products, we don't owe to replace the whole roof? That's in these days. There's percentage deductibles, very dangerous. Percentage deductible can be tens of thousands of dollars on a residential roof or higher end residential roof out of your pocket. Might not even cover your roof claim. Let's think what else. Cosmetic exclusions. If you have a metal roof, you don't want a cosmetic exclusion. Pay the extra premium because they're going to argue your roof got dented. Therefore, we don't know it's cosmetic. It's not affecting, in most cases, structurally, the integrity of your roof, so therefore we don't know.
Yeah, that's very true, because I think a couple of years ago in Colorado Springs, I saw a lot of that where people had a very separate document. You can go online and pull it up. I'm not going to mention the company's name, but it's an actual saying, hey, listen, line by line, pretty easy to read. If you have a metal roof and there is damage on it, we will not cover it for you.
And I've seen water in those metal roofs to where they finally just go through. I mean, it rusts all the way through the roof.
Well, yeah, it was not even on metal alone, even on shingles. I saw a couple of policies on there.
Cosmetic exclusions on shingles that say loss of aggregate, marring, dents. I see it all the time. I actually have fought some of those clauses because it doesn't match up with the rest of the policy. Because remember, I am an adjuster, so we have a little bit superior knowledge, and sometimes fighting those clauses if they're not well written. It's always good to have a professional look when you get caught with that, or you have a multi-million-dollar job where there's dents to the metal roof. I just finished winning a church where they had a cosmetic exclusion, and they told the church for 2 years, and most public adjusters and roofers agreed with them, well, you don't have coverage. I looked at it and said, this is 2.25-inch hail. There's serious structural damage to this roof, to the paint coating, to the seams. I fought that job. I just settled it north of $1.5 million. I think it took us about 20 months, close to 2 years, but we got a church, a brand new, almost $1 million roof. It was just shy, just north of $900,000, but they would have paid for that out of pocket. So there's real reasons to look at coverages, have professionals help you with that. At rooftoproofing.com, you can always call me, and or this show is outlining most of the coverages you should have. And you know what? Nobody wants to do it. But you should read your policy or get your agent to confirm that you have ordinance and law, no percentage deductible, no cosmetic exclusion, period, on the exterior, on the roof, anywhere, and that you have replacement cost insurance. Those are pretty important things in Colorado.
And experts to back them up. I mean, not only do we have roofs, but we've got, siding, windows, garage doors, mailboxes. We've got, huge amounts of different things that they also need to cover.
Absolutely. So in terms of get ready for the hail season in Colorado, those are the things you want to look for. We want to have a high quality insurer. You can go on the internet in there, and there's like, I think it's Fight Bad Faith Insurance Claims, FBIC something.org. I'm not certain on that email address, but you can check. They actually rate insurance companies on the number of claims they have, volume, and the percentages of issues or claims that are challenged. There'll be a footnote there how they decide on that rating. That's a wealth of information. My site, rooftoproofing.com, has some information on it amongst the other guys here. And yeah, it's so important. Now let's lead into what do you do when the hailstorm hits? What do you do to your house? What's the first thing you would do, Mike, or advise your policyholder, consumer,
I would
to
definitely
do?
call my insurance broker, all right, or my agent, and I would say, hey, listen, I've got a lot of damage here. I've had a roofer inspect it, check it out, make sure that you want to file a claim. You may not want to file a claim, right? And kind of go against you if you don't, right? So, Phil, right? I mean, you can get into situations where you file a claim and there's no damage, and it kind of does a little ding on your mark. I don't like credit.
If there really is no damage, you get a few opinions by real seasoned professionals. If there's no damage, don't file a claim. Don't waste everyone's time. Don't waste your time. Be careful of the storm chasing type roofer on there. Oh, yeah, it's borderline, but I can win this. That terminology. If someone says they can win this, ask them how. Tell them how you're going to win this claim. And then go get a couple opinions. Sometimes you can win the claim. We're going to be back shortly, and we're going to talk to you about what else to do on your insurance claim. I'm Phil Coutu. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach me at 303-997-4247, rooftoproofing.com, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience, and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com. We're talking about what a consumer, we just got into it before the break, what a consumer can do when they get hit by hail or have an insurance claims loss. And Mike, do you want to pick up where you were? And then I'll jump in, because I got
absolutely.
a few things to say here.
That's cool. I'm a little door knocker, so I'm kind of the old technology. But all the new guys, the young guys, they have technology that I'm trying to incorporate, but it kind of is hard for me to do sometimes. But we also want to check that out, right? We want to get up there and look at the claim, take pictures, take videos, let that customer see what you see on there, and then we want to be able to file a claim with them. I like to sit down with the insured and file that claim with them, right? So we get on board. We're going to file it for wind and hail because that's their policy of insurance. That's what it's going to be for.
So let me tell you how important it is. One of the very first things, if I have a hurricane claim, a hail claim, what's the most important thing a consumer can do? I'll tell you right now, as soon as that claim happens, there's two things. You should always take pictures before the claim happens. Almost nobody does that. It's too proactive. So everybody's reactive. Once that claim hits, what do? You take pictures right away. You got tree branches down, hurricane, hail, high winds. Go take pictures of your property. Take video. Pictures are, I'm not lying, from an adjuster's point of view, and I've worked for many a big insurance company, is so important. There's stuff in there you might not pick up months after the loss or weeks after the loss when the adjuster gets there. Also, it helps the adjuster see what really happened. You've got 3-4 tree branches down. You're like, holy cow, really high winds hit here. Because a lot of times the adjuster will be like, oh, it's all cleaned up. You can't see the damage. The spot repairs were done by a roofer. It doesn't look that bad. Your roof's fine. You had 5 shingles blow off. But when you see all those tree limbs down, leaves down, or the hail hit and there's all these leaves down, you can tell kind of the intensity of the storm, and it helps an adjuster do further investigation.
Take a piece of the hail and put it in your freezer.
Absolutely. If you can grab a piece of hail right away. You know how many times, that's a great point, Ed. That's our attorney over there, Ed Levy, Atlas Law Group. You know how important it is? I have won claims. I just had a claim where the construction consultant came out and told me he's been doing it for 33 years, blah, 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 right? And technically, I've been doing it 34. I've been doing it since I was 13. Happen to be almost 48 now, people. Not as old as Mike, though.
Hey,
or
hey,
Ed.
hey, hey,
Hey, I'm a little bit older than Stevie, but Stevie's got some more gray hairs than I do. What's going on there, Steve? But anyways, yeah, it's working with us.
Young
but
buck.
anyways, this construction consultant said, this is old damage. I'm not paying for this bar roof, blah, blah. I've been doing this. You know, I handled this Colorado Mills Mall. And I said, really? And I'm not going to tell you some of the stuff that came out of my mouth, but it wasn't pretty because it was pretty combative. But in the end, I said, so you're telling me this is 1 inch hail and no bigger. Now, let people understand, the kinetic energy from 1 inch to 1.75 inch, I don't know where my chart is, it's 700 or 800%. It's a tremendous amount of energy, okay? It goes pounds dash joules, or pounds dash feet. It's a kinetic energy factor. This is how important it is. So I got this construction consultant telling me how great he's in this. I said, well, actually, I've been doing this 34 years. I was an insurance adjuster. I'm a roof inspector. And I disagree with you. I'm going to tell you there was golf ball to 2 inch hail here. And it's not old hail because he's trying to pass the claim off. And I'm like, this is crap. And maybe he believes it in his mind. Maybe he doesn't. So, and this isn't an appraisal because I'm also an insurance appraiser. And to make it short, is I said, no way, this is like golf ball, maybe 2 inch hail. Well, about 2 months into the claim, I'm like, hey, we got to get people that were in the bar. I need footage. These guys are trying to say this is old damage. And my client goes, oh, well, I picked up a hail about 30 minutes after the storm. I was down at Walmart shopping. The storm hit. We pulled our car under, and then we got here. It was approximately about 30, maybe 40 minutes after. I said, you got a picture? And he goes, yeah. He puts it on his hand. It's slightly bigger than a golf ball. So I went and did the forensic measurements, sent it out to a private company. Tell me how big this hail. It came back at 2.1 inch. The kinetic energy versus what that appraiser said it was is honestly 1,000% or tenfold. And I smashed the claim because of that, and I won the roof. They were saying the claim was worth, the entire claim on this bar, they were saying, I think it just roughly about $4,000. I was saying it was worth $180, and we're in the process right now. We've got a settlement offer on the table. I want to get a little bit more for, I think it's $148,000. But you know how big it was when I pulled out a year later? The picture of that 2 inch hail. I let him go and tell the umpire, oh no, it's 1 inch hail. And I said, let him. Let's blow his credibility. He's so certain with his 33 years. Well, you know what? I'm a lot more certain, especially when I have the evidence. So when consumers can take pictures, anything that can help as evidence, like Ed said, a piece of hail. If you have a fire claim, you take those pictures while that fire's going. I know you're emotional, distraught, but once it's calmed down and the firemen, you take those pictures, you get those pictures, the firemen stomping through, all the water pouring in. I've been back to fires where I was an adjuster. I was out at a fire right after the fire, like 4 hours. And it's like, okay, it doesn't look that bad. And I come back 3 days later and all the ceilings are caved in. Why? Because we poured water on it for 2 hours and they didn't collapse yet. And the damage is like 3 times. But I was out there too quick. That usually doesn't happen these days that quick, but it can. All those pictures are a big deal. Document it.
So, I was on a commercial claim where we had a swamp cooler, all right, and the swamp cooler had gotten old and rusted and adhered to the metal on the base. So we had to take documentation through video, all right, and show where it had been. And we were trying to pull it apart and get it, where we could get it pulled off. And the insurance company had to pay for that swamp cooler. So documentation.
And, I've been doing this a long time, so I specialize in troubled claims. We do all the forensic stuff. We'll tear a shingle apart with solvents in my garage. We'll send it off to a lab. We'll document evidence. We'll do test cuts. I think I'm the only person in Colorado that has a uplift chamber. It's worth 20 grand plus you have to be trained on it. These are all forensic things you can do. We'll hire meteorologists. When the insurance company says, if we don't have that photograph documentation, here's a problem. It's a claims cost for a commercial residential claim. It can cost me $1,200 to as much as $3,000 for a meteorological report where they go and give me a site-specific address with a pretty high percentage of what size of hail hit that address. That costs money. So your pictures can save the claim money, can help move your claim faster. Anything else you can document. If you have a fire and you're pulling all your stuff out and there's all kinds of stuff damaged, don't throw it away in the trash. Make sure you document it, make a list of all those contents. Otherwise, you're shortchanging yourself. Get pictures. If it's got to go because there's a health hazard, get pictures of all that stuff. It helps an adjuster. It helps your public adjuster. It helps everybody get to a fair number.
An attorney, Ed, can you tell us, start to finish? I mean, does it take a week to go through a process? Does it take a month to go through a whole claim process? If it goes into the legal aspect of it, well, it can take a year or two. Why?
Well, I mean, again, it's incumbent on the policyholder to go ahead and prove their loss. And, the other side it may be skeptical. They may deny coverage based on a cosmetic exclusion, and then you're fighting over, is the contract applicable? Is this provision applicable? What do other cases say about this? What does the Colorado Supreme Court say about this? What does the United States Supreme Court say about this? So you can have an honest disagreement as to the provisions of the policy, which is why it's important to know those. But these claims are very fact-specific, very fact-driven, and the more evidence, that's what we call it in the legal business, more evidence you can muster to support your position, the better you're going to be, because in a civil lawsuit, it's a preponderance of the evidence, more likely than not.
Do you mediate that quite a bit or go to court? Or?
Well, in any litigation, I mean, it's how can you prove your case and how strong is your case? When Phil discusses, they come in with a $10,000 offer and you're asking for $200,000, you're basically implicitly being told, we don't think your claim is worth very much. And you're saying, oh, no, it's worth $250,000 or whatever you're saying it's worth, and it's your job to prove that it's worth $250,000. You do that with evidence.
All right, so we're going to wrap up with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. If you have any questions, you can contact us at rooftoproofing.com. That's our website, or you can call our office at 303-997-4247. And that is rooftoproofing.com, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.